Made possible through support from PASCO, Personal Assistance Services of Colorado, Developmental Pathways, CCDC, Colorado Cross Disability Coalition, the Arc of Aurora, and the Arc of the Pikes Peak region. THINK+change talks. Bias, noun. Prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. Breaking the barrier of disability bias, a series of different perspectives. Josh.
So my plan was never to own my own business. When I got laid off, I was 28, 29 years old, and I was beginning to run into the issues of aging with disability. I know, that sounds crazy to say at 28, 29 years old, I was already running into that. My knob fell off my chair one day, and I had lost in some snow. And I was like, I got a mill, I can figure out how to make one of these. And so I made my own aluminum knob, and so I had my own custom knob. And then one of my friends saw it, and he's like, well, I got spastic CP, and I pull my knob off my chair all the time. Like, can you make me one? And so I made him one, and he could still pull that one off. So I made him a better one that held on stronger. And that's the basis of the design I still sell today, is the one with the set screws for him. I had a phone with a bad battery, and I couldn't afford a new phone. So I was like, well, I can make a way to charge that off the batteries on the chair. I'm sitting on batteries. Like, I've got tons of power in my chair. Why don't I just charge my cell phone off my wheelchair? And so I built a charger. Just thought I would just build one for myself. Again, run into people and they're like, hey, can you make me one? Hey, can you make me one? Realize, okay, there's people who want these. So turn that into a product. With the beauty of the internet, you can sell it. You can sell on your own website. You can sell through eBay, Amazon, Etsy. Like, there's so many options. And for me, the best part about having my own business is the flexibility. It's a very good option for a lot of us because our lives are not real constant. There's a lot of change. Like, the one thing that's constant is the change. And it allows you to have control over things that you might not otherwise have control over in a traditional job. Even today, I'm like, it just baffles me that a lot of people actually didn't think that after I was paralyzed that college would be an option. Like, there was absolutely no reason college shouldn't be an option. There was no reason employment shouldn't be an option. Actual ability-wise, there was no reason I couldn't work. So disability bias comes up in a lot of different ways. And it can be negative and it can be positive. Again, going back to when I was younger, I just call it playing the cripple card. Sometimes you play the cripple card, and that's what gets you the front row seating, or that gets you to the front of the line. Turns out there's actually a better word for it, accommodation. That's really what it is. But when you're a kid, you don't really understand that. Even as a young adult, I didn't really understand that it was accommodations. There was accommodations at school, there was accommodations in public events, there was accommodations at work. But it can also come across in a negative way, and if you don't know how to handle it, it can go really wrong. I mean, you would expect 30 years after the ADA, everyone would know the law. Not really the case. If somebody, looks at my girlfriend and says, what will he have for dinner at a restaurant? That's a whole different story. That is, much more offensive to me, and I tend to not react very well. When things like that happen to you constantly in life, you start to get a blurred line on whether or not it is normal, and you should just brush it off, or if you should react. And that doesn't make it right, that doesn't make it okay, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a conversation, again, once my food's on the table and they can't mess with it, about, hey, like, this was handled really poorly, and like, you should respect people. But you also have to get through life, and if you let every one of those things bother you to the point where you leave that restaurant or you don't shop at that store anymore, the next thing you know, there's no restaurants you can go to, no stores you can shop at. every one of those instances of bias is an opportunity to educate somebody, and maybe that doesn't make things better for you. It isn't going to make that whatever they did go away, but maybe the next person that comes in won't have the same thing happen to them. So that's kind of over the years. I mean, I've now been paralyzed for 20 years. I grew up with having my gimpy foot. It's just always been a part of my life, and so there's just always opportunities within whatever the issue is. Whenever there's a problem, there's also an opportunity. But give the person the opportunity first. Don't assume about them. And most people take that well. Most people really do want to do the right thing. They just don't always know what the right thing is.
If you feel that you or a loved one may have faced discrimination, contact your local Office of Civil Rights for resources and support. THINK+change. Talks, trainings, and tools to help in your work for or with people with intellectual and other developmental disabilities. Learn more at www.thinkchange.training.